Have you ever held a quarter in your hand without realizing it could be worth thousands and even millions of dollars? We're diving deep into the top 3 most valuable state quarter dollars, coins that look ordinary but hide jaw-dropping secrets. From rare minting errors to elusive varieties, these quarters have turned pocket change into small fortunes. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who checks their change, you won't believe the shocking prices. Today, we're diving deep into the incredible story of the 1999 D-era Georgia state quarter dollar, how it came to be, the fascinating history behind it, the secrets to spotting one, and why collectors are willing to pay tens of thousands for the privilege of owning it. Let's rewind to 1999. It was a big year for American coinage. The U.S. Mint had just launched the 50 State Quarters program, a historic initiative that would release 5 new quarter designs every year, each celebrating one of the 50 states. It was a massive success. People were suddenly hoarding their change, hunting for each new design as it came out. And Georgia, with its elegant peach, oak sprigs, and banner reading wisdom, justice, moderation, was one of the early coins to capture the nation's attention. Minted in Denver, Philadelphia, and San Francisco, millions of these coins entered circulation. Most were ordinary, but a very small number were anything but. So what makes the 1999 D-era Georgia state quarter so valuable? The answer lies in a perfect storm of factors: scarcity, historical significance, and the nature of the minting mistake itself. While the Georgia design is beautiful in its own right, the error coins stand out instantly to trained eyes. Some were struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the coin blank intended for another denomination like a Sacagawea dollar or even a foreign coin was used instead of a regular quarter blank. This leads to strange weight differences, odd coloring, or unusual sizes. In other cases, the Georgia design was overstruck on top of a completely different coin, creating a wild, layered image where two designs overlap like ghostly shadows. Imagine seeing the Georgia peach sharing space with part of an eagle's wing from an earlier quarter. That's the kind of jaw-dropping visual that drives collectors wild. And these aren't just hypothetical scenarios. Documented examples exist, fewer than you can count on one hand, and their sale prices prove just how much the collecting world values them. One spectacular specimen, graded by a top-tier service $46,000 like PCGS or NGC, sold for over $35,000 at auction. Another, with sharper details and almost no wear, pushed the upper limit of $40,000. These aren't just coins, they're pieces of minting history, accidents that slipped past every layer of quality control and survived decades in the wild before being discovered. This is where grading comes into play. If you ever think you might have a rare Georgia quarter error, the first step is to avoid cleaning it. Cleaning a coin can slash its value in half or worse. Instead, handle it carefully by the edges and get it certified by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. A professional grader can confirm whether it's a genuine error and assign it a grade that will help buyers understand its quality. And when you're talking about a potential $46,000 payday, that certification is worth every penny. The 2001 D-era New York State quarter dollar. That's right, a simple state quarter, struck in Philadelphia, with a mistake so rare it can make you an overnight legend in the coin collecting world. Now, before you think this is just another rare coin story, understand this: the New York State quarter was one of the most popular designs in the entire state quarters program. Millions were struck, and almost everyone has seen the one featuring the Statue of Liberty, the outline of New York, and that thin line tracing the Erie Canal. But a tiny handful. Barely a whisper in the massive mintage left the U.S. Mint with striking errors so dramatic, so visually obvious, and yet so rare, that they're worth life-changing amounts of money today. These aren't the kind of coins you'll find every day, but history has shown that they can and do pop up in circulation. Another category of valuable mistakes involves dramatic off-center strikes. Normally, a coin is struck perfectly in the center, with the design filling the planchet edge to edge. But when the blank is misaligned in the press, the design can be shifted dramatically to one side, leaving part of the coin blank. The further off-center, the rarer and more valuable it becomes. A 2001 D New York quarter with more than 50% of the design missing and a full visible date can be a 5-figure prize. These are the kinds of coins that make experienced collectors stop mid-sentence when they see them, because they know they've stumbled upon something extraordinary. The wrong metal strikes are especially fascinating. The 2001 D New York quarter should be a copper nickel-clad coin, with a silvery color. But mistakes at the mint can produce coins on planchets meant for other countries or denominations, resulting in unusual colors and weights. A New York quarter struck on a 90% silver planchet, though never officially intended, would be an extreme rarity. The few wrong metal examples confirmed for other state quarters have fetched tens of thousands at auction, so imagine the frenzy if one were found for New York. Auction records tell the story clearly. In certified mint state condition, a spectacular 2001 New York State quarter-dollar error can command the kind of bidding wars usually reserved for early gold coins. Collectors know these opportunities don't come around often. One dramatic off-metal strike sold for over $50,000, while other unique combinations of errors, especially when the coin was preserved in near-perfect condition, $60,000 have pushed toward $75,000. For a coin that cost the mint just a few cents to produce, that's an almost unbelievable transformation in value. The most elusive and valuable modern U.S. coins, the rare 2006 D-era Nevada State quarter dollar. And by the time you finish hearing this story, you'll understand exactly why this coin has collectors in a frenzy, why it's one of the most sought-after pieces from the state quarter program, and how a tiny, almost invisible minting mistake transformed an ordinary quarter into a modern-day treasure worth a small fortune. Let's set the stage. The year is 2006, and the United States Mint is in the middle of one of its most popular coin programs ever, the 50 State Quarters program. Nevada was the 36th state to be honored, and its design was a tribute to the state's wild and rugged beauty. The reverse featured 3 galloping wild Mustangs charging across the desert with the sun rising behind them, a banner with the state motto "The Silver State," and a cluster of sagebrush. It's a beautiful coin that captures the spirit of Nevada's open range and frontier history. These are not your everyday, minor die chips or faint scratches. We're talking about bold, unmistakable errors that are visible to the naked eye and make any experienced collector's heart race. And because these errors are so rare, the demand for them is off the charts. That's where the big money comes in. One particularly stunning 2006 Nevada State quarter dollar with a major off-center strike sold for a jaw-dropping $57,000 at auction. Another with a dramatic double strike and pristine mint state condition pushed up into the $70,000 range. And perhaps the most talked about example, a coin with a combination of a major die clash and off-center strike, still in high mint state, has been estimated at values as high as $80,000. That's right, $80,000 for a single 25-cent coin. Some of the rarest 2006 Nevada errors are also certified by top grading services like PCGS and NGC. Having that authentication not only proves the coin is genuine but also reassures buyers that the error is exactly what it's claimed to be. In the high-stakes world of rare coins, that certification can be the difference between a 5-figure sale and a coin that struggles to find a buyer. Collectors paying this kind of money want ironclad proof that their investment is real. Think about it, finding one of these coins is like hitting the numismatic lottery. You could be sitting at your kitchen table, sorting through spare change, and suddenly you notice something odd about a Nevada quarter. The design looks off. Maybe the horses look doubled, or part of the design is missing. Your heart starts racing. You grab a magnifying glass, take a closer look, and realize you might be holding one of the rarest and most valuable modern quarters ever minted. That's the kind of discovery that turns a regular day into a story you'll tell for the rest of your life.